We all know that our internet search history reveals some deep truths about us and our sexual desires, and a group of Google engineers used it to try to crack the code on female sexual fantasies. In this video, I'm going to break down their findings and what exactly they mean about what women really want. And of course, I'm also going to share how you can incorporate this knowledge into your sex and relationship life. But first off, think about your own search history. That thing contains information that you probably wouldn't readily admit to. It might be the truest, most uninhibited representation of your thoughts and fears and desires. So with that in mind, what does this information tell us about what women really want? Well, let's dive in. First, I want to also quickly shout out the engineers who did this research and their book, A Billion Wicked Thoughts, which, mind you, came out over 10 years ago. The information that I'm about to share with you is based on the findings in that book, for which they analyzed billions of search queries, including people's pornographic searches, in order to form some conclusions about our sexuality. So what did this mountain of data tell us about women's desires? Well, in short, that we're into monsters. You heard that right. But before you decide that nice guys do in fact finish last and you're better off becoming an asshole, I need you to promise me that you're gonna listen to the rest of this video, because that's definitely not what they're saying. There are specific elements to this data that are key to understanding the root of these female fantasies, and that is what I'm going to break down. The biggest takeaway from this data is that women often fantasize about 5 different types of classic male monsters. Let's go through them before I tell you what all of this actually means, and when I tie it together at the end, I promise it will be surprising. Number 1, the vampire. You just have to think about the surge of mass horniness that was caused by the Twilight franchise to accept that this is a strong sexual fantasy for women. So what is so hot about vampires? Well, they tend to be portrayed as brooding and mysterious, unpredictable and powerful. They're also into biting your neck, which is kind of sexy just in and of itself. Vampires are kind of the epitome of a bad boy, and that is kind of undeniably sexy. And there's something also very erotic about the eternal and undying vampire lore. All right, on to number 2, the werewolf. Again, I point you back to Twilight or any of the other countless pop culture references that you might think of. And why might women fantasize about werewolves? Well, think about it. They're powerful, they're tortured, they're misunderstood, they're strong, they're dominant. There's something in them that just completely loses control and turns into a wild beast-like creature. Plus, like us, they're ruled by the moon. The third category of male monster is the billionaire. 50 Shades of Grey? Anybody? Anybody? Although this one is really much more grounded in reality than, say, a vampire, we're still dealing with elements of a superhuman. We're looking at power. We're looking at extreme dominance in our social hierarchy, unimaginable levels of success. It's not just about the money in his bank account. It's really about his ability to do and have whatever he wants. Which brings me to number 4, the pirate. Here we find the allure of adventure, danger, and rebellion. The pirate is a guy who lives for himself and doesn't abide by social pressures or norms. He's independent and unafraid of the consequences of living life on his terms. Finally, we have number 5, the surgeon. Now, this archetype is the epitome of precision and control. Someone who literally has the power to hold your life in his hands. Being a surgeon requires focus, intelligence, dedication, and hard work. Again, it's a more grounded fantasy than some of the more outlandish ones that I've listed, but there's still this through line of power and dominance. So, does this mean that women are really attracted to monsters, or that surgeons are monsters? I think we can all agree that billionaires are. Well, the short answer is no, because the real interesting aspect of these findings lies in the second half of the fantasy. You see, when women are they're getting turned on by these archetypes, they're not thinking about being dominated, overpowered, or treated like crap. So like I said in the beginning of the video, it's not that we're into assholes. In fact, women are fantasizing about the exact opposite, something called the dominance and taming dynamic. And understanding that is the key to getting what makes us tick. All right, I want to say thank you to the sponsor of this video and introduce you to Joymode. Joymode makes natural and science-backed wellness products for men. Their sexual performance booster is like a pre-workout, but for sex. If you're like me and you want to put only high quality things in your body that help it to perform at its best, Joymode has created a product that will support erection, firmness, and quality, supports sex drive, and supports healthy blood flow to the areas that need it most. It's very simple to use. All you do is mix one of these packets with water and drink it 5 hours to 45 minutes before sexual activity in order to experience that boost in the bedroom. Whether you're really happy with your sex life already and you just want to perform a little bit better, or you just want to make sure that your partner is getting the best of you possible, Joymode is like a pre-workout, but for the bedroom. I recommend that you check it out. They're offering a special 20% discount to subscribers of my channel. All you have to do is go to usejoymode.com/CaitlinV and enter CaitlinV at checkout. What is the dominance and taming dynamic? Well, to put it simply in the context of female fantasies, let's just take the example of the classic story of Beauty and the Beast. In it, we have a monster, a powerful beast who is feared by everyone. He also happens to be wealthy and lives in a huge castle, which doesn't hurt, and no one will approach him. What does the protagonist, Belle, do to this untamable, terrifying creature? She tames him. She brings out his softness. She brings out his tenderness. And how does she do that? Well, she has him fall in love with her. She does this through seduction. You see, the fantasy isn't as simple as women like monsters. The core of the fantasy is that women want to have the secret key to a man's heart. They want to feel special, like they're the only ones that can access this soft, protective, caring, kind aspect of an otherwise all-powerful and dangerous man. It's the duality that is sexy, the duality of a strong, dominant figure who is feared and respected outside, but who is incredibly tender and loving and tame in private moments. So let's get to the most important part, which is what can you do to learn from this and take it into your relationships with women? The most important thing to remember is that fantasies aren't literal depictions of actual desires. We do not want someone to drain our blood. We do not want a man that turns into a dog, and we do not want an unshowered, rum-drunk boat captain. And just like we don't actually want those things, we don't actually want a monster or a guy who is feared by everyone and has control or dominance issues. But these fantasies do reflect some deeper psychological and emotional needs that we have in order to feel desire. Women want to feel safe and protected in all kinds of ways. Yeah, physical, but also emotional, like knowing that you will be by her side and that you will stick up for her and that you can be tough to anyone outside of your special little couple bubble. We also want a man who carries himself with confidence and self-assurance. You don't have to be a billionaire or a surgeon. She's going to find it attractive if you are confident and in command of your life, no matter what you do. Above all, these fantasies tell us that women want to have a private part of you to themselves. They want to get a part of you that nobody else has access to, and they want to feel special to you. So the best thing you can do to bring the core parts of these fantasies into her reality are make her feel like she has a special hold over you. Like she does things to you that no one else can. Be that tough masculine container on the outside and allow her to transform you on the inside. And of course, on a more surface level, there are plenty of ways to consensually explore these fantasies more directly. I always recommend having open and honest conversations about your fantasy life with your partner or anyone that you're dating. Check it. Maybe she does want a bit more aggression in the bedroom. Maybe she would be into some sexy vampire roleplay and some neck biting. I know that I would. Whenever engaging in any sexual act, especially one that might involve dominance or aggression, it is so important to establish trust and clear, enthusiastic consent. And the only way to do that is through communication. So talk to her about it, ask her what she's into. You can even tell her that you just watched an amazing video from your favorite YouTuber who you're totally subscribed to about a billion wicked thoughts and start the conversation from there. And remember, if you have any specific goals or anything that you want to change in your sex life, I am just a couple clicks away. You can apply to work with me as your coach or any one of my certified team of coaches to get a personalized roadmap to the most empowered, confident, and sexually satisfied version of yourself. I'm Caitlin V. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I will see you here next week. Mwah! Bye bye.